Welcome to The Debate, brought to you by the Business Owners Only Networking Group. I want to start off by thanking Mix TV for broadcasting this live event to the community and want to show appreciation to the Lynn Jones Foundation for making that possible. I would also like to thank Mike Griffin with the Chamber for letting us use the room tonight. A little over a month ago, letters were sent out to all the candidates that were in a contested county race. 10 days later, a text was sent as a follow-up. Not everyone chose to respond or participate. Therefore, the first 3 county positions that will be in front of you tonight will only have one candidate. This evening, we will have a unique and efficient debate schedule. Each candidate will be asked 3 questions. Those questions will consist of 2 individual questions and 1 question that will be asked to all the candidates. We gave each candidate the opportunity to submit a question for their opponent. If a question was submitted, it will only be asked if it met the requirements that we are trying to portray. Which brings me to the why. Why are we doing this? I believe that small business is the lifeblood of every community, and it's not different in Cleveland or Bradley County. Business owners have questions of their local leaders, which will all be addressed tonight. Finally, we want you to vote. I have 3 boys that are all of voting age, and most of their social media feeds is full of negative comments, mudslinging, and vile when it comes to national politics. Like I tell my boys, you can make a difference in local politics. Local politics also doesn't have to be like national politics. So that is my message to you. Go make a difference, vote. To the candidates, thank you. Thank you for taking time away from your family and friends, for spending long hours knocking on doors, for showing up to debates, all because you want to make a difference in the community. I know it's difficult, but win or lose, it's worth it. We will now get started with the debate, and I would like to introduce Mayor Gary Davis. Welcome to the debate, sponsored by the Business Owners Only Networking Group. I'm Jamie Kyle. Helping me today is Stephen Shelton. An important thing to remember on the reason why Stephen is helping me is because this is a small town. We have relationships, and we wanted to make sure that if one of us had a relationship with certain people running, that we had the other ask questions. So that's why we're here. So Stephen is also a small business owner, so he is allowed to be here, right? So we want to go ahead and get started, and we have Mayor Gary Davis. As I mentioned in the opening, some people chose not to come or didn't respond, and the first 3 tonight is a result of that. So, Mayor Davis, thanks for coming, and I've got your first question.
All right, thank you.
You have promoted that the $4.7 billion in industrial investment. How do you answer residents who feel that while industry is winning, the average citizen's quality of life is suffering due to traffic and infrastructure strains?
Well, first of all, I don't believe that's correct. We have recruited a lot of industry, and what we've done, we've worked very hard at recruiting quality industry that makes huge investments in our community. That's where you get the $4.7 billion over the last 15 years, almost $1 billion in the last 5 years. That investment in our community is important. Man, he's already putting up his hands. The quality of life, though, I think we're providing better paying jobs now than we were 15, 20 years ago, and that's what it was all about. Bring good paying jobs.
You did very well.
30 seconds, man, that is quick.
Right? As far as making sure we're done in 30
seconds. I can't answer anything in 30 seconds.
All right. As the city continues to annex the county, I know revenue is being lost. Nobody wants taxes raised. What are your plans to ensure that our county employees are getting the pay they deserve?
Well, the only time we lose revenue is in fire tax. The city could annex the whole county. I've said that for years. They can annex the whole county. It doesn't affect my revenue, the county's revenue. But it does affect fire tax revenue because fire tax is for everyone outside the city, and as they annex, that takes people out of that category and puts them in the city. So we are losing fire tax, making it very tough. But we still, in my opinion, can work on it each and every year. We just can't do it all at once.
Absolutely. All right.
Sorry to hurry up those questions.
Yeah. All right. You have mentioned that there is work that still needs to be accomplished to make Bradley County even better. What is your plan to address the continual plea from first responders for what they call competitive pay?
Well, first responders, we've got to continuously work on bringing in better pay for our first responders, for all county employees as far as that goes, but especially first responders because of the extra training and everything that they have to go through. We can't do it all at once. Some of the requests this year are just, they're not possible without a huge tax increase. And I don't believe in tax increases. I believe in growing the community, bringing in more revenue. And as the revenue grows, we grow government accordingly. And we do some each and every year. And we'll always have work to be done in that category.
All right. One of the things that we're doing with each candidate is we're giving them a minute at the end of the questions that we asked to either appeal to the voters, or in some circumstances they can rebut comments that may have been made about them during this debate. So, Mayor Davis, you now have a minute.
I have a minute for a closing statement. Well, thank you to everyone for hosting today's debate, and for those taking time to listen and to watch. I really appreciate it. I'm going to talk quickly because I've got more than 1 minute here, but I believe that local government should be steady, accountable, and focused on doing the job well. The office is not about headlines or politics. It's about public safety, responsible budgeting, supporting county departments, planning for growth, and making sure that taxpayers' dollars are handled carefully. Those are all very important. Over the course of this campaign, I've talked a lot about record, results, and responsibility because those things matter. I believe leadership means showing up, doing the work, making tough decisions, and staying focused on what is best for Bradley County. I'm proud of what we've accomplished here in Bradley County over the last several years, but I also know there is more to do. I'm asking for your vote so we can keep building on real progress with steady leadership and clear focus on serving the people of this county. Does that mean I got 10 seconds? My goodness. As we wrap up, I hope one thing is clear. This race is about substance. It is about who has actually done the work, who has a proven record, and who is willing to step up when the job requires it. In a lot of ways, the contrast in this race looks a lot like what we've seen here today. One candidate has shown up and has shown a willingness to be present, answer questions, and stand on a real record. The others offered a lot of words, but words alone are not enough in the middle of the paragraph. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Davis. We are going to take a break while we bring in our next debate, and so we'll be back in a minute. Welcome back to the debate, sponsored by the Business Owners Only Networking Group of Cleveland. Thank you for tuning in. I want to say a quick thank you to my 21-year-old son who's here participating in this, and that is important to me because he now can vote, and so I want him to be able to see how some local debates can go, and he can make a wise choice in who he votes for. We now have our District 4 school board candidate, and that would be Miss Ashlyn Morlock. Ashlyn, welcome.
Hi, thanks for having me.
All right, let's jump straight to the questions. With your children not being enrolled in Bradley County school system, how do you feel you will be able to properly understand and relate to the challenges that Bradley County school parents are facing?
That's a fair question. I want you to know that when Davis and I put our kids into kindergarten, we lived in the city and we sent them to the school that they were zoned for. And when we moved to the county, our daughter was in 5th grade and our son was in 2nd grade, and we moved them to North Lee Elementary School. Unfortunately, that is when COVID happened and the world shut down. So they came home to be taught by me until the school systems opened back up. And then we switched MAN back to the city school system because that's where her friends were. And Jefferson remained at North Lee and had a very successful experience. I'm very thankful for that great school.
Thank you. How should the board balance the push for high academic rankings with the need to support students who do not meet the mold of traditional 4-year degree paths? Currently, the state limits the number of students who are able to engage in the PI Center based on teacher count. Would you be in favor of moving educators from areas like cosmetology from Bradley and Walker Valley to expand the program offerings and the student opportunities at the PI Center?
That's a great question. I believe in high standards and strong academics. I believe that every student deserves a real pathway to success, and that includes career and technical options. Before moving programs, I would want clear planning regarding enrollment demand, workforce needs, costs, staffing, etc. If it doesn't improve results, we shouldn't do it. I'm opening to strengthening the PI Center, but it has to be strategic. And I would start with local partnerships and targeting programs with proven demand and phased expansion. Not college bound does not mean not capable. We should value trades while keeping expectations high.
Do you feel there is a need to build any additional buildings in the next 5 to 10 years with the knowledge that, according to publicly available data on the Tennessee Department of Education, Bradley County Schools has a small decline in overall enrollment for the last 20 years, while the population has grown 15 to 20% during that same period of time?
These are really great questions. If, and I would like to emphasize if, because I don't have the data in front of me, if overall enrollment is down or flat, I don't think the default answer is to build new schools. The first priority should be maintaining and improving what we currently have. But flat and down overall doesn't mean that every area is flat. Growth can shift by zone and by grade level. Overcrowding can still happen in specific schools while the county total is down. My approach is to use data and focus on the data like building capacity, class sizes, demographics by area. Renovations and smart upgrades are usually more cost effective than new construction. However, I will support a new build only when the numbers and the long-term planning justify it.
All right, now's your turn. You don't have to answer a question. You get to talk about what you want to talk about.
Okay. And I have a minute?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. I just would like to say thank you for being here. I am Ashlyn Morlock, and I'm running for the open seat in the Bradley County School System in District 4 because I care about strong public schools, and I believe that this job needs steady and practical leadership. I'm a lifelong Clevelander. I'm a wife. I'm a mom, and I've spent years serving our community in roles that require listening, accountability, and follow through. I will continue to listen to my friends and neighbors in the 4th District, and I will always be accessible. Early voting starts Wednesday, April 15th, and I truly appreciate your vote. If you're in the 4th, I would be honored to serve you. Thanks again for your questions. I'm happy to answer them. I wish my opponents were here to answer those questions as well, because I would like to hear what they have to say, as I'm sure you would too. Thank you.
And she finished under a minute. Let that be known. So that was very good.
I'm a fast talker when I have to be.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Ashlyn. We are going to take a break. When we come back, we'll be ready for our next one. To the debate sponsored by the Business Owners Only Networking Group. We now have Commissioner Tommy Ledford, who is running for re-election. Tommy, thanks for being here. I guess my first question would be, your opponent has described growth as chaotic. What do you believe is the primary cause of this chaos? And if elected, what would you propose to correct the problem?
That is a great question. I'm glad you asked it. Chaotic growth, let me say this first. We are the 92nd lowest tax rate in Bradley County out of 95 counties. Why are we growing so rapidly? We're growing rapidly because our tax rate's low. The people from California, New York, Chicago, whatever is coming in here. How do we control it? There's only one way you do control it, is go up on taxes where it would slow the growth, which I will not do. I will not go up on taxes, period. That's all I have to say about that one.
Good. Thank you, Tommy. This is along kind of those lines, as you've taken a very firm stance, as you just did, against tax increases. However, you also said you believe we should take care of our first responders. If the budget need for first responders is estimated between $2 and $5 million, how do you propose both can be accomplished while keeping the balance or the budget balanced?
Man, these are hard questions. I think every Bradley County employee, which we have in the 600 range of employees, I think the raises should be fair across the board. I do agree the firefighters, the EMS, and all those guys, they do need a raise, but we got to stay within our budget with what money we have. When you do a tax increase, you put the burden on the citizens of Bradley County. Those citizens don't make $41,000. That's what a fireman starts out at, $41,000. Plus they get free insurance, which I mentioned before, which is $9,600 something dollars. But anyway.
You've been a proponent for mental health in this county for a while. What other programs, in addition to mental health, do you believe the county could or should be providing our first responders that is currently not being offered?
Yeah, that's a hard one. I think, of course, I mentioned it in the other forum about we did ARP money. I think we spent like $75,000 for a program for mental health. But the hospital, of course, I don't know what we were offering, much more than our adult mental health over at the over at West Side. I really don't know, to be honest, an honest answer to what other programs should we start. Is that what basically you're asking, what if we should start other programs? I think if we have the money to do so, then yes. But if not, then no.
That's good. All right, it's your turn. Commissioner Ledford, you get to talk for a minute. We'll even let you go a little over. That's what we've been doing for the first three, because, except Gary.
It won't take. Number one, my name's Tommy Ledford. I'm 6th District County Commissioner. I won the election in 22 against my opponent. The reason I won that election was because that commissioner voted for a tax increase in 2019. The big question right now, it's a hard question for everybody, is are you going to raise taxes? I made it crystal clear at the forum that I would not vote for a tax increase. We got to live within our budget. We got to live within what money we have. There again, I'll say it. You put the burden on the people. That's who I serve. That's who I work for. My opponent that you're talking about said, I read a little post that he posted, that you're not always going to please your constituents of your district. Well, wrong answer. Because what happens to you when you don't do what they tell you to do? You get voted out. That's the reason I'm sitting here today in this seat, and I honor my constituents in the 6th District. I work for them. I work for whatever they ask me to do, I do it. I don't ask questions. They bring something to me, I bring it up here, and I put it forth. And that's what I do. And I appreciate your vote, April the 15th through the 30th, and election May 5th.
Yeah, thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you.
All right, we will return after this. This is The Debate, brought to you by Business Owners Only Networking Group of Cleveland. Welcome back to The Debate. We're trying to get this all figured out. I think I just grabbed your microphone. Brought to you by the Business Owners Only Networking Group of Cleveland. Proud to have District 2A up for debate, and that would be current Commissioner Louis Alford and Caleb Lazader. I want to say Lazadir because I'm from Bradley County.
It's a really
right?
easy Southern name.
Right. So we have two great people here, and so we'll the way this will work with when somebody has somebody that they're debating with is we'll ask two questions that will be individual questions, and then we'll have one for both of you to answer. So Commissioner Alford, we'll start with you. Having served for so many years, what do you feel is the most challenging issue facing the county, and if reelected, What is your solution to resolve it?
Well, it's obvious the most challenging thing. If you just drive around Bradley County a little bit right now, you can't even drive because of much traffic. So there's 2 or 3 things that's really going to be important for the future of Bradley County, and that's to improve our infrastructure and start improving our whole system. Actually, Bradley County's been blessed over the last, I guess, 30 years of not having to, well, he's giving me 5 seconds. Thank you.
This is where it gets challenging, right? It is 30 seconds. But all right, so Caleb, next question for you. During your campaign, you have mentioned your concern over continued developments on Michigan Avenue leading towards Dry Valley Road. Specifically, what policy or idea will you propose to ensure smart growth in the area of District 2?
I think we're going to have to really work with the Planning Commission to fully understand what the plans are for the developers that are wanting to come in. Make sure, like Commissioner Alfer said, we have good ingress, egress that we're going to be able to handle, especially when it comes to, it's not just homes, but commercial traffic and increased business districts. So once again, really pushing for infrastructure and that we are communicating appropriately throughout all areas of government.
Perfect timing, Caleb. All right, Commissioner Alford, critics worry about the long-term debt service of turfing 22 fields. Do you believe that turfing these facilities will lead to a cost savings, or an eventual tax burden on our budget?
You talking about the fields?
Yeah, the
Okay.
turfing of the 22 fields.
Yes. Well, you got to understand those fields are being paid out of the HCI money, which is the interest we earn from HCI money, which is really not necessarily tax dollars money in any form or fashion. So those fields are going to last us a long time, and what it actually does, it gives about 1,300 kids a chance to play about every night. If you're familiar, any of y'all got children, you go out and only if it just rains a drop almost, you can't play. So they're missing the opportunity. So I think the turf field is going to be a blessing to Bradley County.
Caleb, as a firefighter, you noted that many county employees are hurting regarding wages. How do you plan to vote to fund competitive pay increases?
Obviously, the big talk is it going to come off the tax burden of the constituents? The goal is to not do that. If we can sit down, have conversations to be able to pull other areas, that would be the goal, right? No one ever wants to go, I'm a taxpayer here as well. I don't want my taxes going up per se. But at the other side, I also want to know if the day comes that I need emergency services, I've got the best people that are there that are trained and can handle the situation.
Caleb, we'll start with you on the last question here. Constituents in District 2 are firm about not wanting a tax increase. Mm-hmm. If growth continues to strain county services, what is your specific plan to bridge the financial gap?
I'll be honest with you, I don't necessarily have a plan right now. I'm looking at every single aspect that we can, but the issue that we have is the way that the government structure is set up, it pigeonholes us as to what we can do. When you look at, there's TCA codes that cover impact fees. There's TCA codes that cover how we can actually raise fire department dollars. The fire department only comes from SSD tax. You can only get donations. And so we have to figure out ways to expand our ability to get income so that it doesn't come off the back of the constituents.
Commissioner Alford, I'll read the question again. Constituents in District 2 are firm about not wanting a tax increase. If growth continues to strain county services, what is your specific plan to bridge the financial gap?
Well, right now we're looking at a lot of different plans. We're working on our budget right now, and the mayor's putting a budget together. I think, we got to look at the future. Bradley County is in the bottom 5% of taxes in the whole state of Tennessee. So we got to look at the future and see, because you've only got X amount of money that comes in under growth and taxes, and you only got X amount of money going out. So you got to balance those two things, and it's really hard if you don't do something to raise a little more money, you're not going to be able to balance the growth.
Gotcha. All right, gentlemen, it's time for your minute. I will let Commissioner Alford go second since he is the current commissioner. Caleb, throwing it to you.
Really, truly, Ben, I am just thankful to have the opportunity to run for commission. I'm a young guy. I'm raising a family here in Bradley County, and I look forward to watching my children grow up in this amazing county. I know that we're facing a lot of complex issues. And though I may not have, a 10-point plan for you today, I can promise my constituents that I'm working every single day to come up with solutions or, possible ways to remedy the issues at hand. I want to retain the character of Bradley County. I love looking out at the farmland. I love looking at the rivers. I love the rich history that we have, especially in North Bradley County and our areas of Charleston. I want to be able to retain that. And so I would ask that you guys would vote for me on May 5th and give me the opportunity to represent you and grow with me and send Bradley County into the future.
Commissioner Alford?
Yes, just looking at I got three things I talk about a lot: experience, leadership, results. If you just look at my experience on the Bradley County Commission and on the school district, I served over 30 years in the school system as an administrator, coach, and teacher. Also, I've been on the commission for quite a few years. So there's a lot of experience there. And I look at the future of Bradley County, you're going to have people that's got some experience. You're just not going to be able to go out there and come up with ideas unless you had been there and done that, you might say. Experience, leadership. I've been on the county commission for quite a few years. I was 10 years as the chairman of the county commission, and I've been there and done all kind of reports. I also had the audit committee. I had the, at 10 seconds of killing me. Audit committee and a lot of others. And the results, if you'll just look at anything about the county commission over the last 15 years, you see we've had a lot of results.
Thank you both. That's Commissioner Alford, Caleb Lezador.
You were close. Look
I'm
back.
on it, so that's going to be hard for me. So thank you both. Really appreciate it. All right, we're going to take another break. When we come back, District 2B, right after this. Welcome back to the debate, sponsored by the Business Owners Only Networking Group of Cleveland. I'm really excited to have District 2B here. I am actually going to recuse myself of asking questions because I know the two gentlemen on each side, and I met Terry earlier, so I'm going to throw this over to Stephen Shelton to ask the questions.
Thank you. Mr. Dinsmore, we'll start with you. You said you've managed 70 million in grocery operation. If elected, what is one specific corporate efficiency you've identified that may help the county in budgeting for the future?
100%. So I think what we could really try to do on the commission is just communicate well. So when we communicate well, we really strive to get to a point of both sides going together. So in the grocery business, whether or not it's Publix or Food City or everything we're working on, we're buying, selling, and doing every single same thing that we would with county government. But we have to look at how we communicate it and how we communicate it to this constituent. So I think transparency, communication are a retail strength as well as a county commission strength.
Thank you. Ms. Murray, after 43 years in education, you have emphasized that planning wisely is a key to the future. What is one of the biggest planning failures maybe you have seen or strains you have seen on today's county growth?
Well, I think personally, I've lived on the north end of town my whole life. And so the roads, I think the road improvements and the infrastructure has been not as well planned out, I think, as what we needed it to be, because it's really hard to get around on Paul Huff, and it's really hard to move around town, and I really think the infrastructure is really not being kept up with.
Mr. Richards, you pointed out in your campaign a concern about development right across the street, quote unquote, from North Lee Elementary. What specific zoning or infrastructure changes do you believe are required to help protect this area of Bradley County?
Well, I think it would be catastrophic to assume that we're going to put in 1,100 homes and it's not going to have a significant impact on the already ridiculous traffic on Paul Huff. If you're trying to get your kids to soccer at 5:30 for practice and you're leaving your house in District 2, you ain't going to make it. Because we have got to have all of this infrastructure, the roads, the things that are impacting around, and then certainly to look at costs for that entire development.
Thank you. Mr. Dinsmore, if elected, what improvement have you identified as your top priority for District 2?
Biggest thing that I want to work on is transparency. So like we just talked about a minute ago, communication and transparency are key to moving us forward. Like we all know, we have traffic, we have infrastructure, we have lots of things that are happening involving growth in District 2. Our biggest thing is making sure that the people of District 2, the people of Bradley County, the people of the city of Cleveland know what's going forward, know what's coming, and that we can work on it together.
Perfect. Ms. Murray, you've mentioned that good leadership begins with listening. What is the number one concern you have heard from District 2 voters and business owners that you have not seen addressed by the current county policies?
Well, the main thing I think is the communication between the city and the county and keeping up with the infrastructure. It's like all of that was planned. The contractors come in and put the drainage in. I was listening to the commission meeting today, and then they leave it up to the county for the infrastructure, whether we have it or not. So I think listening is going to be key, trying to plan with the city and the county to make things better.
Thank you. Mr. Richards, you stated in your campaign that District 2 is your top priority, and you would not support projects that benefit other areas at District 2's expense. Can you give an example of maybe a countywide project you would possibly have voted against to protect your district's funds?
Well, when I say it's up to the people of District 2, I can't give you a specific example because I have not heard from people from District 2 on a decision the county made that they would be anti. Now, whereas I agree with Mr. Dinsmore that we need transparency, look, you can look at a train wreck coming from a long mile away, but if you don't make the decisions to stop it, you can be as transparent as possible, but it's still going to be a train wreck at the end of the day. So transparency, sure, but you have to be able to war game out these problems instead of just saying, well, we knew it was coming.
This question is for all three candidates, and Mr. Richards, will begin with you. Constituents in District 2 have been firm about not wanting a tax increase. However, if growth continues to strain our county services, what specific plan do you have to bridge the financial gap?
Well, I think the mayor's done a good job of proposing budgets year after year, probably doesn't get as much credit as he deserves, quite frankly. I think that we've done a good job so far of bridging some of these gaps. However, I'm always a big fan of doing an audit and looking at expenditures, and I know that we've had several different government entities who have not requested an increase or have vacancies that they've not filled. That money can be used maybe somewhere else.
Thank you. Ms. Murray, the same question. Constituents in District 2 are firm about not wanting a tax increase. If growth continues to strain county services, what is your specific plan to bridge the financial gap?
Well, I've worked with budgets for years and years and years, and so I think what you've got to do is do an extent needs assessment and find out what the needs are. Maybe some of our needs have changed from when we done the budgets. So maybe we need to look department by department and see if we need to, if there's extra that we can cut from one place and put it somewhere else. But as far as I'm concerned, tax hikes are going to be really hard, and I'm really not for that.
Mr. Dinsmore, same question. Constituents in District 2 are firm about not wanting a tax increase. If growth continues to strain the county services, what is your specific plan to bridge this financial gap?
Yeah, I think we need to look at new different ways. So our biggest thing here is that I agree with my other two opponents, and we just need to push further. So I think the mayor's done a great job of balancing the budget, but What are we looking at? Are we looking at TIFs? Are we looking at splashes? Are we looking at different ways of grant funding that we can bring in to incorporate without having to raise taxes? So if our district doesn't want a tax increase, which they don't, then we are showing them ways and means that we can get there without doing that, and then showing them the valuable services they get on both hands to be able to get what they need.
Thank you. All candidates were able to submit questions for their opponents if they desired to do so. Mr. Richards has proposed 2 questions for Mr. Dinsmore and Ms. Murray. Ms. Murray, will begin with you. From Mr. Richards, why would you run for county commission instead of school board, which is where your expertise has been?
Well, I think that the reason I'm running for commission is I think that I can have the experience that I can add and I can give to the commission with the budgeting and strategic planning. And so I just felt like it was time to step out and maybe do something a little different. So that is why I'm running for the commission.
Thank you. From Mr. Richards, Mr. Dinsmore, how can the people of the 2nd District know they will be your top priority over all other organizations you're a part of?
I think the biggest thing with me is that everything that we do leads us up to a point. And I think with Cleveland growing and changing and being there, I've tried to make sure that I was instrumental in trying to improve myself to be able to lead for District 2. So I think I can be there. I think as we step back from other roles, we flourish in new roles. And those different things that we work on only give us more and more experience for what we're doing.
Thank you, sir. You each now will have 1 minute closing remark. Ms. Murray, we'll start with you.
Okay. When you go out to early vote on the 15th, make sure you vote for Terry Williams Murray. I am running for District 2, Seat B, and I will do my best to listen to District 2 constituents and do my best to do the best for Bradley County. I have grandchildren that I want to grow. They're growing up, and I want them to remain here and come back here to live as adults.
Mr.
Thank you.
Dinsmore.
Yeah. So, guys, it is we are hitting the home stretch, and so it has been fun. It has been great. The biggest thing that I could tell everyone is it's amazing to be here. It's amazing being part of Bradley County and Cleveland and everyone coming out to vote. So early vote, get out there, be there, vote Dinsmore. Like I said, I'm there to support you, and I'm just happy with all the passion, all the people, everything going on behind the scenes, and that we're moving this needle forward for big stuff happening. So I appreciate everyone. I appreciate everybody's current support.
Mr. Richards.
Y'all didn't have a question for me? I mean, I came up with one for y'all. I've enjoyed getting to know all the people in District 2 that I did not know previous to this, and Miss Terry and Mr. Dinsmore. It's been a fun adventure, and not to disparage or take anything away, but there's no doubt I'm the best qualified candidate. I'm the one who can do it the best, and that's what you need to vote for. So, again, my priority is District 2, and if you're in District 2, we can do it together, and you can have my phone, call me anytime, and we'll move the ball forward. Thanks.
I'm completely in shock that we have a former educator, a grocer, and a attorney that all finished under 1 minute, with not even any extra time.
Well, your son, your son's done a pretty good job.
I know, making sure. No, and I'll take this time to say this to all the candidates. Thank you for taking your time. I said this on the beginning of Mixed TV, but I know you're taking time away from your family. You're going out knocking on doors. You're doing a lot of stuff to try to contribute to the county in which you live in. And look, win or lose, it's worth it. I'll say that.
100%.
So thank you guys very much. And we'll go to break. We'll come back with District 3.
We want to win.
Welcome back to the debate, sponsored by the Business Owners Only Networking Group of Cleveland. I'm Jamie Kyle. Stephen Shelton to my right. My son Elijah Kyle keeping time for us today. Been a lot of fun so far in this debate, and we now have District 3. I, again, will recuse myself of this because I have a relationship with Milan, and I've known Mr. Anderson since, I don't know, we were 17, so it's been a long time, maybe even before that. So I will let Mr. Stephen Shelton take over from here.
Thank you. Mr. Blake, you've already introduced some efficiency measures like PDFs to save paper. Can you name another technology you believe will benefit Bradley County that they should adopt to further reduce administrative overhead?
Sure. There's a couple of things that I still would like to do. As you know, when you receive your property tax from the trustee, it's probably going to come in the form of a paper. The law allows for the trustee to send the invoice to you through electronic means, should you choose. We obviously still have those folks that are more comfortable with paper, and they should be allowed to continue that. But those who are more comfortable with electronic, postage, I think it's 59 cents a letter. We could save a lot of money out of that $60,000.
Thank you. Mr. Anderson, your campaign has consistently called for change. If elected, what type of change would you introduce for the people of District 3 as their representative?
Well, I would just like to see, I just want to bring common sense, a business sense to the Bradley County Commission. As a business owner here in Bradley County for the past 8 years, owning a restaurant, starting a 501c3, I just want to bring business sense to the county commission. I crunch numbers every day. I go through numbers every day, and when I can't make it, got to figure out how to do it, and I do it.
Thank you. Mr. Blake, the budget is a 600-page document.
Yes.
How can you make this data more transparent and digestible for citizens who do not have a background in finance but do want to be well informed?
Well, first of all, the budget is online, so if you want to go get that budget, and I've said this a number of times on the commission and out in the public, I'm more than happy to sit down with anybody and go over every bit of it. But to answer your question, to make it more, it is the structure. The budget is designed, or it is put together by state law. We don't have options to basically consolidate or anything. We have to have funds like we do. But maybe an index or later to make it a little bit easier to read, but it is just a complex budget by nature.
Thank you. Mr. Anderson, during your campaign, you have referenced a good old boy system. Do you have a county bidding process or contract process that you believe should be subject to a fresh set of eyes to ensure fairness if elected?
No, I mean, I'm not saying that. I just, a lot happens, a lot needs to happen more than just an 8 or 10 minute county commission meeting. And, I've even seen from people that are running for county commission say something about these late night meetings that we have and but there is no late night meetings. So 10-minute commission meeting just ain't getting it done.
Thank you, sir. This question will be for both of you. Mr. Blake, you noted that 64% of the budget is predetermined by statute. Given those restraints, what is your solution to the ever-growing plea from first responders for competitive pay?
So basically, we take their budget requests, which we are in the process of doing right now, and we are going to be sitting with the first responders this Thursday, and you really have to negotiate with them to see where we can make things meet. And then we have, on the commission, we have to basically decide where we're going to come up with the revenue. It is, I'll be honest with you, it's not an easy process, but you have to be willing to sit down and negotiate.
Thank you. Mr. Anderson, same question. Your opponent has noted in his campaign that 64% of the budget is predetermined by statute. Given those restraints, what is your solution to the ever-growing plea from first responders for competitive pay?
I just want to be able to sit down and look at everything. And my big question is, and I'm sure a lot of people in Bradley County's question is, especially even the 3rd district or every district, we had a 3-year tax assessment last year. My house almost doubled in price. Where's that money? I want to be able to sit down and look at it straight across the board, and I just want to know where that money went.
You now both have 1 minute closing statements to make. Mr. Anderson, I'll start with you.
Well, first off, I just want to thank the chamber for giving me this time, the small business owners of Bradley County. And I just want to ask for your vote for the 3rd district. I just tell you, all I can tell you is I'm going to bring a fresh set of eyes. I'm a business owner. I'm a dad. I'm a granddad. And I love Bradley County. This is everything. Bradley County is my number one, and I don't plan on going anywhere. So I would appreciate your vote, and I just know this, that I will look at Bradley County just like I look at my restaurant on a daily basis, from doing 940s, 941s, and, making payroll 45 minutes before I got here. I will take care of Bradley County.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Blake, 1 minute.
Thank you guys also, the business owners and Mix 104 and the chamber for having us. I appreciate the opportunity and the people out there. Bradley County is a great place to live. Some of us had to do time in other cities. I had to do time, and I call it that, in Atlanta. And I can tell you, if you've ever been down there, it's good to be out of Atlanta. But Bradley County is a great place to live, and it's not by accident. It's by the governments, the city council, and the county commission, the city of Charleston, working with our nonprofits, working with our faith-based organizations, to get a consolidated effort to improve every single day. We do have some issues when we work through them. The budget is the responsibility of the commission, working with the mayor's office, to make sure that we're providing the services that we are by law required to provide at the highest level, at the highest service, at the highest quality, at the most affordable price. And we do that, the 14 commissioners working again with the elected officials.
Thank you, Mr. Blake. Thank you, Mr. Anderson, for coming out. All right, we're going to take a break. A little note. The next candidates that will be here will be from District 4. There is a candidate that didn't show up, so Mr. Josh Taylor will be in here by himself. So when we come back, you'll hear from Josh Taylor, is running for the seat 4A right after this. Welcome back to the debate, sponsored by the Business Owners Only Networking Group. I'm Jamie Kyle, Stephen Shelton, and it's time for District 4A, as mentioned before the break. Josh Taylor will be doing this alone tonight, so Josh, we will give you an extra 10 seconds like we did everybody else who went first. So first question for us, or from us, from the business owners, will be transitioning from the school board. What is the biggest budgetary friction you've seen between the board and the commission that you feel uniquely qualified to resolve?
Okay. I don't know that there's necessarily a friction between the two. Definitely a transition. The school system and my role on the Board of Education has been to oversee the policy and the budgeting, but strictly related to the school system. So transitioning over to the county commission, well, now it's doing the same thing, but on a much larger scale, so a larger impact. So now it's not only the schools, which will fall under that county commission, but all other county departments as well.
You prioritize smart growth. Name one District 4 roadway that you feel is currently outpaced by housing developments, and explain your immediate plan to address its safety or capacity.
To be quite honest, I think there are probably several issues in our area that'll have to be addressed. I think monitoring traffic flows and traffic studies and things like that, and prioritizing where that need needs to be, or where that money needs to be spent or how that we're going to address those issues. A lot of safety concerns and things like that. One that has came up along the way as I've been knocking on doors and talking with people is even maybe a turning lane on 64 as you go into Menace Road there, which is a state highway, but I think it's going to be important as a commissioner to be able to work with these state agencies and TDOT to achieve good results for all of our citizens of Bradley County.
It has been estimated that the county will need between $2 and $5 million to increase first responders paid to a competitive level. Do you feel this is achievable without a fire tax or a property tax increase?
Our first responders are extremely important, and I think everybody in this room can agree with that. And as far as being achievable to reach that, I think it's something that needs to be planned for, and there's definitely some things that need to be addressed, but I'm going to speak freely, and like everyone else in here, I don't like a tax increase. It affects me as a business owner, it affects me as a property owner. So I think that we have to look at ways to maybe look at other departments. Instead of isolating this one issue or this one department, look at the budget as a whole and try to come up with a decision. I also think it's something that has to be maybe done in phases or steps as we try to achieve the necessary response to that.
All right, it's your turn. You get a whole minute to tell the voters why they should vote for you.
I think this election, just as important as any other, is not just a popularity contest, but it really is about qualifications. And I believe that I bring true leadership skill, through other leadership positions I've held inside of the county, with the board and in other organizations as well. And being able to bring that perspective of as a business owner to the county commission, I think sets me apart from some of the others. And, I would greatly appreciate your support and your vote in this upcoming election.
Ladies and gentlemen, Josh Taylor. All right, when we come back, we've got a bunch of people that'll be up there and in seat 4B right after this. Welcome back to the debate, sponsored by the Business Owners Only Networking Group. While I turn around and I see Steve Hartline, I would be remiss if I didn't thank Mix TV for coming here and putting this on for the community. And that is only done because the Lynn Jones Foundation thought it to be important to share this information with the community. So big thank you to the Lynn Jones Foundation and Mix TV for helping us out with this. All right, this is District 4, Seat B. We have Deborah Gleason, Rich Kinlan, Melanie Lawson, and David Ricketts. Thank you all for coming. I almost have to look over there behind Nick's head to see you over there, Deborah. All right, we'll start with Deborah. You expressed concern over bulldozing away acres of trees for housing. What specific density or zoning change would you advocate for to preserve District 4's neighborhood character?
Well, I would advocate for first a zoning that would be take into consideration the community as it is and not to destroy the area that they're in, which is what I'm seeing a lot of. They're bulldozing the trees down and it's not the same environment that it once was. So the beauty is going away and the people are upset with how it's going to affect their property values.
All right, thank you. Melanie, since you're next in line, I'll go to you. So you emphasize that you want to listen and learn first. Based on your initial conversations with District 4 families, what is the top concern that other candidates are currently overlooking?
I think it's transparency. I want to be open and honest with the public. I think trust is a big one that we don't see a lot of. And I just really want to be open and honest with the whole county, not just 4th District, and just bring light on different subjects.
Perfect. Thank you. Who we got next? All right. So, David, as a mechanic and a Marine, you deal with complex systems. What do you see as a broken engine in Bradley County government that you are most qualified to help fix?
Infrastructure. Infrastructure, in my opinion, is struggling to keep up with the housing markets and all the building. I worked for TDOT for 5 years, so I've done other types of construction besides road. And that's one of my main concerns is the infrastructure. It needs to be caught up. It needs to catch up with the housing system, the housing market.
Thank you, David. All right. Mr. Kinlan, you suggested looking at vacancies first. If a department has a long-term vacancies, would you support permanently freezing those positions to fund raises for existing staff?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I kind of like Rich right now, that one-word answer. All right, but you did. Now I'm going to ask you another one since you did that so fast. All right, we'll start back with you. So you modernized probation with online payments and text reminders. What other manual county process is most in need of a digital game changer to save taxpayer money?
I would say right now we're doing timesheets on paper, and there's got to be a program out there that we could do it electronically for all departments to submit to the HR program.
Mr. Ricketts, you stated that infrastructure is getting overrun. What is the first development project in District 4 you would vote against until road improvements are guaranteed?
Any more property being bulldozed down and more subdivisions coming in, especially high density residential areas, it needs to be. There's nothing wrong with building. You can't stay the same. You have to either grow or die. But the infrastructure, when you build 200 apartments on a road, that road needs to be able to handle the traffic because each apartment or house can have 3 to 4 vehicles at it.
Very good, thank you. All right, Melanie, you mentioned you are not a career politician. Would you place a personal term limit on yourself if elected?
No, I would love to serve the public for as long as I can.
Okay. You're like Rich now. These short answers, I'm not used to them. All right, Deborah, you promised not to betray District 4 with a tax increase. If local infrastructure fails due to inflation, what specific budget cuts would you prioritize to retain a balanced budget?
Well, it'd be like a household. We're going to combine things, and we're to alleviate some positions, which I know is not a popular thing, but when you're in a household, you do those things. You get rid of things that we can do without, and we maintain until we can get to that point that we can maintain the structure that we have.
All right, the next question will be the same for all 4 of you, and I'll just throw it out and start with Mr. Ricketts in the middle. All right, it has been estimated that the county will need between $2 and $5 million to increase first responders' pay to a competitive level. Do you feel this is achievable without a fire tax and or property tax increase?
As a small business owner myself, you have to cut corners somewhere. If you're not going to raise taxes, then there's possibly some wasteful spending that can be cut out. You just have to look at the budget and see where there's, things that we don't need, things that can be cut back. There's always, you're going to have to raise taxes a little bit. You have inflation and cost of living, but you can't overtax people to where they can't afford to pay it.
All right, we'll go to you, Mr. Kenlon. It has been estimated that the county will need between $2 and $5 million to increase first responders' pay to a competitive level. Do you feel this is achievable without a fire tax and/or property tax increase?
I think first we would need to look at spending and how we're spending our money. And again, back to the vacancy positions, I think we need to look at how many vacancy positions. Then we can look towards a tax increase if that's necessary. But I would say, I don't think it ought to be just for first responders, EMS, and sheriff. I think all county employees need to be considered for a pay raise.
Thank you. Melanie, we'll jump to you. It has been estimated that the county will need between $2 and $5 million to increase first responders' pay to a competitive level. Do you feel this is achievable without a fire tax and/or property tax increase?
I do. Like they are, I would love to see and look at the budget. I know has to be cuts that we can do to help achieve all pay across the board, not just first responders, because I've seen some of the pay on others too that needs to be increased also.
Thank you. It's going to be the same question for you, Ms. Gleason. You've heard it now 3 times, right? You should be ready to go. So let's see, where am I at? It has been estimated that the county will need between $2 and $5 million to increase first responders' pay to a competitive level. Do you feel this is achievable without a fire tax and/or property tax increase?
Well, I definitely don't believe there should be property tax increase. The people have suffered enough through the last 10 years. And my opinion is it needs to wait, like any of those kind of increases need to wait until we have the infrastructure fixed. And we don't want to impose on our small businesses, because the higher the rates go for the businesses, the more they suffer as well.
Thank you. We did ask the candidates to submit questions if they would like. Both Ms. Gleason and Mr. Kenlon has submitted questions. So Mr. Kenlon, we'll start with your questions. First, for Melanie, your voting record shows you have only voted 1/4 of the time in the last primaries. Are you a true Republican?
Yes, I have voted every time as a Republican. Yeah. True
Right.
Republican, through and through.
Ms. Deborah, what job have you held in the last 5 years that qualifies you to run for county commission?
Well, I'm retired, and because of that, I took on the responsibility of going to the commissioner meetings for the last 5-6 years and talking to the mayor about the budget and talking to other individuals in the government about certain things, the election commission. So I've not for the intent of running, but for the intent of being aware of what's going on in our community.
David, similar question that Rich asked. What have you done in the past 5 years for Bradley County or the 4th District that has prepared you for county commission?
Well, back in October, I quit my full-time job that I had. I've opened my own auto mechanic shop there in the 4th District. I do everything myself. I keep the books. I do all the work. So I may not be the perfect candidate, but I'll do the best that I can. Mainly I'm looking to balance the budget, and maintain spending. And that's what I do in my shop. I can't, I don't run up credit card bills.
Very good. All right. Ms. Gleason asked one question for the other 3 candidates. And so I guess we'll start with Mr. Kenlon, since you asked the other question. All right. If there is a proposed tax increase, would you vote yes?
Only if it was necessary.
All right. We will go to Mr. Ricketts. Same question. If there is a proposed tax increase, would you vote yes?
Depends on how much the increase would be and if it's absolutely necessary.
Melanie, same question.
If it was absolutely necessary. Everybody else is already having a hard time as it is. There has to be other ways to cut, but.
Okay. All right. Now it's you guys' turn to talk. Ms. Gleason, we'll let you go first for a minute.
Okay. My goal as county commissioner is to ensure that the taxpayer money is treated as a public trust and used responsibly with transparency and efficiency, preventing waste and abuse. Small businesses are the backbone of our country. Higher tax burdens restrict business cash flow, leading to reduced hiring, lower wages, and decreased investment in expansion. Therefore, I stand for no tax increases, and I promise you I will not betray the people on that. When I get a chance to vote, you will be put first. The seat that I will hold is the people's seat to represent them. You can contact me through my website, debgleason.com, or call me at 517-290-1119, and I respectfully ask for your vote on May 5th.
I just would ask for your vote and your trust. I believe in showing up, being there for my district and the whole community, and I will work hard to bring transparency, honesty back to the government, local government.
I appreciate the opportunity to run. Thank you for that. I will do the best that I can do. I'm only human, and I'll make the best decisions I possibly can, and I will listen to the people and trying to help the people. I'm not anything now, right now at all, but I help a lot of people, and I want to continue to help people the best that I can. I don't want to raise taxes, but there comes a point in time, everything has to go up. It cannot stay the same, but it has to be minor, very small, very minor. It cannot go above the cost of living or inflation. Those have to be taken in consideration also. It's inevitable that it's gonna happen one way or another, a little bit. But with budget cuts and watching wasteful spending, we can make it.
Thank you for the opportunity to be here. I've been in public service for 39 years. The last 24, I've been Mayor Davis's Director of Misdemeanor Probation. I've been the guardian of taxpayer dollars and a contributor of taxpayer dollars. For the last 24 years, I've put money back into the general fund, last year at the tune of $80,000. So I know how to manage budgets. I know how to manage people. How does that correlate into a county commissioner? I deal on a daily basis with people's lives and how things affect them, whether they go to jail, stay out of jail, whether they get community service, whether they have to pay restitution, anger management. There's a variety of things. I work closely with a lot of different departments already, a lot of elected officials. I know the players in the game, so I'm familiar, have relationships with them. So I think I would be your best candidate for District 4 CP. Thank you.
Thank you, Rich. Thank you all, ladies and gentlemen. It's really impressive when you have a group of 4 like this running for an open seat. And so I know it takes time out of your day, again, away from your families. And for that, we are appreciative. So, ladies and gentlemen, the District 4B. And then there was one more. We have Deeds up next, and so we're going to go to break. When we come back, we will hear from Stacia Kreis-Shahan and Missy Matthews. Welcome back to the debate, brought to you by the Business Owners Only Networking Group. Want to thank again everybody for doing this. This has been a lot of fun to put together. Really impressed with the candidates that we have running for each position. And if this is what we have, Bradley County is in really good hands. So now it's time for the Register of Deeds. We have Stacia Kreis-Shahan and we have Missy Matthews. Thank you, ladies, for joining us. We'll start with you, Stacia. You noted that the office cannot legally determine if a document is fraudulent. what specific community outreach plan will you use to educate homeowners on how to monitor their own titles?
So first, I would like to start with make sure we develop the website. I want to make sure that everyone can get a hold of all that information correctly. I also want to see us do better handouts so that we can give those to the people of Bradley County. And I would love to see us do some videos so that you can, a lot of people don't want to read everything, so some videos, nice podcast type videos that we can get to people. And I would also like to see us do some things at closing, because that's a really important time to make sure that people understand the information about their titles.
Okay. Missy, you have 31 years of experience inside the office. However, some argue this creates a bias towards how we've always done it. What is the one change you will promise to make that departs from the previous leadership?
That's a great question. My changes for the future are I want to hire in younger adults so I can continue to teach them how to run the office effectively. So when we have time to age out, we will be able to know that it is in good hands moving forward.
Thank you, Missy. All right, we'll go right back to you, Missy. How about that?
Yep.
You have mentioned being able to record by hand if necessary. In an increasingly digital world, how much of the budget should be spent on legacy, physical record keeping versus cloud-based security?
Right now, all of our records are cloud-based. So all of our records in the past, the legacy part of it, we have it all in hard copies. If you come to our office, you'll see we have huge books that have all of our records back to 1865 in there. That costs the taxpayers nothing. That costs our office nothing. Going forward, we will still be digital, and we will be able to provide the same communication that we have been, the same record that we have been.
You can finish.
the same form of record keeping that we have been.
Very good. All right. Stacia, as a manager of redevelopment projects, you are used to high-speed timelines. How will you bring that private sector efficiency to a government office that has traditionally been slower to modernize?
Well, that's a good question. That's the first one, too. So I have been in a lot of construction situations where you have to work through them. But first off, we're going to make sure that we are using the system that we need to be using. We're making sure that we have worked through some situations that need to be fixed, like our fraud alert system. It's really not at the state that it should be. At a minimum, we should be fixing that we have that so that you can search for your address, not just a name. It gets very complicated. And I would like to see us make sure that we continue to grow that.
All right. Oddly enough, we didn't have the same third question that came in for either one of you, so you get another individual question. We'll go back to you, Stacia. You mentioned that technology without awareness is just overhead. Which specific outdated system currently in the deeds office would you replace first, and why?
Well, I'm going to go back to our fraud alert system is an add-on to the land records management system that we use, BIS. So it's not its own separate system, and that would be the first thing that I want to look at, making sure that if we cannot work with BIS to update that, looking at a different option for that, because it needs to be address-based. It needs to be at a minimum have a middle name there, so that you're not having, if you're A. Smith, you're not getting, or Adam Smith, that you're not getting every Adam Smith's alert. So that would be the first thing I want to look at.
Okay. All right, Missy, why should the voters choose technical expertise over the fresh managerial perspective offered by your opponents?
The software that is coming down the pipe, the software that we have, by the way, is through I3 Verticals, not BIS anymore. The things that we have coming down the pipe is AI based. So what we have to do in that, the software that we have right now is no longer being perfected. It is already perfected. So the AI software that is coming down the pipe, we will implement that as soon as it gets perfected. We cannot put any kind of software into effect if it is not perfected. That would be a total tragedy for Bradley County.
Very good. All right. Well, now it's y'all's turn. So I think I'm at Missy starting. So Missy, you've got a minute and go right ahead.
Okay. Hello, folks. My name is Missy Matthews. I've worked in the Bradley County Register of Deeds office for 31 years, hired by Odell Swafford in 1994. A study was done once on what is an expert in their field. 10,000 hours or 10 years. I'm triple that. I have 31 years of expertise experience in the Register of Deeds office. I humbly ask for your vote. I humbly ask for your support during this time. I thank you so much, and if you would like to know more about my campaign, please go to my Facebook page, Elect Missy Matthews, Register of Deeds. Thank you.
Very good. All right, Stacia, you're up.
My name is Stacia Cross-Shahan, and as I stand here today, as we all stand here today, we all have the exact same amount of experience of being the elected Register of Deeds, and that's 0, because none of us have held that position. Everything in my career has led me here today to be your next Register of Deeds, from everything I've done, from filing, negotiating, and being held legally responsible for these documents for the last 25 years. The organization, the attention to detail, the communication, and the professionalism that you have seen out of my campaign is exactly what I will bring to you as your next Register of Deeds. Now I ask that you humbly vote for me, Stacia for Deeds, on May the 5th.
Ladies and gentlemen, Missy Matthews and Stacia Cross-Shahan. All right, well, that concludes the debates brought to you by the Business Owners Only Networking Group. Again, I would like to thank the small business owners in attendance today. And you truly are the lifeblood of our community, and just know that you're very much appreciated. Would also like to thank Mix TV and Gideon, who's done a fantastic job putting this out to the community, the Lynn Jones Foundation for providing Mix TV, and for Elijah Kyle, for Stephen Shelton, I'm Jamie Kyle. Good night.